What's up, college football fans and Mean Green fans? Sonoy Valente here once again with the Mean Green Show, joined again by Ryan Davenport, and we're going to dive into this ACU recap. But before we get into all of that, guys, you already know the drill. If you're a fan of college football or G5 football, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Okay, Ryan, I appreciate you jumping on. Talk just briefly pre-tape, so I really don't know. I'm excited to hear your takes on the matter. But like we did say pre-tape, there's probably a few different angles to look at this. But starting with offense first, Ryan, what are your takeaways from the Abilene Christian victory?
I mean, I thought they looked good. I mean, they should look good, but seem to be firing on all cylinders. Seem to be moving the ball around. Reasonable mix of pass and run. I think Rogers had a good game. I think he's solidified himself as that calming presence and the guy who wants to lead the show there. And I was actually reading a statistic that he has 7 touchdowns and 1 interception, and there's only about 20 guys that are over that have that many interceptions and touchdowns. But I think he's also done it probably with 2 less games. You know what I mean? And so there's some pretty high names on that list. So I thought they looked good. It's just getting into, we're just going to have to put up a lot of points. So.
Yeah. And echoing off of the Rogers statement, he definitely peppered it around, got a lot of people involved. Macklin, over 100 yards. Sides, true freshman Landon Sides with 5 receptions and over 60. Ward, 3 receptions, over 40, 2 touchdowns for Ward. Conwright, 2. Jordan Smart, 2. Just obviously the rest at least 1, but definitely
him running the ball at certain times in the right moments. I mean, it looked really good. I want to kind of call back to what you said a couple of shows ago. Is that good for UNT football? I mean, it was exciting. So I think from that perspective, if they're going to pass it around and do that, it makes for a fun, entertaining product.
I don't want to jump to defense yet, so let's not go there just yet. But when they did come out and score the first drive in like 4 plays, where was your head at? Were you thinking it was going to go like it was going to be a shootout with ACU, which it almost was? But
yeah, again, it's hard for me to answer that without going to defense.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that. I liked our response. So, okay, they moved the ball, we moved it back. I felt like we kind of took control from then forward. So I felt really confident the rest of the game. And, I had to leave a little early, and then I saw the final score, and final score was a little bit closer than I would have liked. But it kind of probably reminded me of Louisiana Tech. You know what I mean? Like we kind of take the foot off the pedal a little bit. And, I don't know if it's defensively or offensively, but if I was ACU, just talking about them, I thought they kind of came out and established a run right out of the bat offensively. And then I kind of felt like they went away from it. And so that was, I thought, a weird coaching decision on their side, because I thought they had kind of established that as a way to get the ball down the field. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, a few little tidbits before we go over to the defensive side. So yeah, Rogers, I think it was like 64% completion, 321 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, 29 yards rushing. Also a day over 100, or right at 110 yards rushing. Isaiah Johnson found the end zone twice. And, Rogers, I just mentioned he had 29 yards rushing, but so Rogers, he's quick. He really has a quick feed, and just, it is what he does. It seems like we've seen a lot of QBs do to us in years past.
Right.
So it's good to see that. But one thing I want to ask you, and I asked Morris this in the presser, and I've talked to Morris a time or two about this, just probably bugging him a little bit with it. But Rogers, man, it seems like he's down to take a hit or two, and he's not the biggest guy in the world. As far as whenever he gets out of pocket or whenever he's running, there's some times where he's fallen forward or whatever the case may be. But do you like that? Does that concern you? What are your thoughts on his willingness to I guess get gritty more than normal quarterbacks?
I mean, as a player, I love it. I love when the guy leading the offense wants to come in there and throw a shoulder in the mix. I think in today's age of quarterbacks, you don't see it. And, quarterbacks have been coached and encouraged to get to the sideline and step out of bounds as much as possible. So I appreciated it, and I appreciate it as a defensive guy. But at the same time, I don't, as a fan, I don't want to see him get hurt. I don't want to see him out missing extended games because he's not sliding when he should. So I don't know. I'm torn. I like it, but I can understand why it's a bad idea. Um, but I do think when he ran, from what I saw, he normally is looking to pass when he's running. I mean, he will pull it down and he'll run, but he's not a guy who's thinking, I'm getting happy feet and I got to run now. Like, I didn't get that impression at all. So I want to be clear about that.
Yeah. Okay, going over to the defensive side of the ball. 45 against an FCS opponent. I feel like that's what a North Texas caliber team should do. Allowing 31 points from an FCS, not ideal. I don't, just it got a little close there. And I know you missed, maybe the last few drives. On that last drive, there was a drop by ACU. I can't remember who dropped it, but would have given them a first down and would have got them either into North Texas territory or really right up maybe their own 48. And it, just would have kept that drive alive a lot early when there's more time left. And man, they were a few plays away from, maybe getting in the end zone, and then who knows what that onside kick. So just, it was maybe a little closer than even the score shows at times. Their QB passed for 4 touchdowns, McClever, and they rushed for 170 yards. And yeah, just what's your take there defensively?
I mean, I think it's the same take it's been. I think we are struggling defensively. I think that the first half felt like we were in control. So I didn't really feel nervous about that. Allowing them to come back in bothers me, and it reminds me of the Louisiana Tech game. But I don't know. It also kind of reminds me of Mike Leach and Texas Tech. Like, I feel like this is kind of that MO, is that we're just going to go outscore everybody. And I think if that is the game plan, then I guess we're going to put up a lot of big numbers and we're not going to worry so much about defense right now. I don't love it. I want to see sounder football. And if I was ACU, I would have ran the ball a lot more. I would have been running the ball. So the fact that they didn't run it as much, I think, played into our strengths. But that's, I don't think the defense was better. I think it was the same.
Yeah. And before I go into the next statement, just to be clear, Ryan nor myself, we're not calling for anyone's job.
No.
Just talking, but
we're just not. I don't think we're there yet. That's what I want to say.
Okay.
I mean,
well, that's where I was gonna. I want to get your take on this if you're willing to give it, Ryan. So
right.
here's the thing. So I don't know what's gonna happen this year. Maybe this is gonna be a great turnaround. I'm not sure, but it seems like it's pretty apparent that they're sticking in the 3-man. Do you think, regardless of what happens defensively, if it continues with zero progression, there's any consideration on Morse's end to bring in a new defensive guy, or do you automatically, this is 1 year, we're going to ride with this with Capone year 2 no matter what? Do you think there's any? Because let me ask you. Okay, let me reframe that. So, in my opinion, I think if we go 0-12, or if we went 0-12. Morse stays another year. I just don't think you do that after 1 year. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't. I just think the athletic department would not fire Morse had he gone 0-12. Do you think if this defense ends where it might be projected to end, that the same case will be made for the defensive coach?
Well, so I want to be careful how I answer that. I don't think that it's a fair judgment of him to be asking for his job right now. However, I think as a head coach, you should be evaluating your staff every year and bringing in the best people you can. And if they're not getting the job done, it may have to happen. But that's a Morris decision. I think Morris, as the leader of that entity, needs to bring the best people to bear that he can get. And if Capone's that guy, then Capone's that guy. I haven't been overly impressed. And to some degree, what I haven't been impressed with is alignment, uh, calls. It's not out athleting us necessarily. It's putting us in bad situations. And uh, but the 3-3-5 is going to put you in some bad situations. So I guess that's what we're doing. And Capone, they had success with this, right? I mean,
Mhm.
this isn't like something that they've never done before. So if you're looking back at the Iowa State days and stuff, so maybe we're just not where we need to be yet.
Okay, last question. As we head to Navy, they're a big
Yep,
rushing team. Um, before you get into your full game, just kind of projection, do you think there might be any like freak? They're a big running team. We're not really good at stopping the run. That it just might just happen. While we shut down their run, as in hold it to maybe under if we held Navy to under 150 rushing, I feel like that would be a success personally.
I think there's
Um,
no way that happens.
yeah, that would be. I don't know. Maybe under 250 would be the success as far as
That would be a
yeah.
success.
Um, so do you think, okay, so you kind of answered, there's no way that we have a good day defensively in stopping the run.
I think our best defense is to put up as many points as we can.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
where
So
we're at.
what do you, I think Vegas has Navy at only 5 points favorite. What do you think North Texas covers that? Do you think North Texas wins? What are your thoughts there on the odds?
It's that's a hard thing to answer today because I have been really impressed with the offensive production the last 2 weeks. So, if we go out and score 45, I think we're in the game because Navy's going to run it. They're going to take a long time to score. They're gonna hold the ball. We're gonna score quickly. We've proven that the last couple weeks. And while Navy, I think, will be a sound football player and they do what they do well, or football team and they do what they do well, um, Navy is not going to be known for their stellar pass defense and secondary. So I think we're going to have opportunities there, in my opinion. I'd say it's a close game and a shootout, and I think we might cover it. I think that's my hope. I guess that's what I would say.
All right. Well, I feel great now. Well,
Well, I will be there, so I'll
you
let you know
will.
how. Yeah, I'm going to go up there. I'll be in Baltimore next week.
That's awesome. All right.
I'll be there.
Um, well, right on. Well, hey Ryan, I really appreciate it. Go Mean Green, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. Hopefully we win one. Go Mean Green.